Adrian.
Yeah, 8 years.
I used to believe that. I used to believe that in order for me to get anything done in my day, that I had to kind of be a little geared up about it, like be on top of it. And so let me draw a picture. I'm glad we have a whiteboard. So this is what I used to think. Can everybody see this? Okay. And don't laugh at my art. So this is where I feel like I'm writing on a wall here. When I used to be in the work world, imagine this is your thinking. Okay, so I would be having all this thinking in terms of work. And I thought that's what was getting it done. And my fear would be, if I wasn't in this, nothing would get done. But what's kind of underneath all of this? Our wisdom or a clear thought. And I'm just using this as a kind of a picture or metaphor. See, what I didn't realize was, it wasn't all this getting the work done. You know what was really getting all the work done? It was this part here. But I just had to add extra on top of it to somehow, in my mind, that would ensure. But guess what? We can still get a lot done here, but what happens by Friday night? What happens?
Intense.
This takes a toll, doesn't it? So you get it all done, but man, you're wiped. And that was my problem. I loved my job, I loved the work I was doing, but I was exhausted, mentally drained by Friday night. And because I was operating from here. And remember, what gives us the experience of our thinking? What allows us to experience our thinking? Anybody know? Consciousness. So this is how the principles work. So whatever you've got going on in your mind, you're going to have that feeling right away. But again, I had no idea that there is another deeper part of me that actually not only will I get everything done, what happens when we operate from a clear mind?
Peaceful. Efficient.
It's peaceful, it's efficient, isn't it? How many of you have like 20 things to do and each one looks equally important? And you can't really tell which one's more than the other. So you end up feeling urgent about all of them, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what happens. And how many of you make lists? So we write them all down. And then how many of you stress out that you're not getting through the list? But sometimes the list helps us too, doesn't it? Okay? But what I want you to see is stress is not coming from the things we're doing or the situation or our children. We're thinking beings, right? We're always in thought, 24/7. And wherever that is, that's where we're getting the experience of stress. It's not coming from the external stuff. But we forget that. We forget that. And like in the cab, when I was taking the cab, all of a sudden I felt really tight, like, oh God, we're not going to make it. And then I'm like, oh, well, me sitting in the back seat getting all tense is not going to make him know how to find the place better. But I'm thinking I better stay tense because somehow if I don't, it'll impact us getting there. Well, that's kind of a funny idea, isn't it? But yet I was starting to do it, and I do this for a living, and I'm doing it. See how, it can get a little crazy. But it's funny because then I realize it, like what you're saying. Then I realize, oh, you know what? He's going to figure this out, and I don't know where we are, so I figure I'll call George at one point and say, I don't know where I am, you're going to have to come get me. Because I'm on a street corner somewhere. You know what I mean? I just started to relax about the whole thing. And of course and he called somebody he knew the way around. And in fact, the person he called, I think it's another cab driver who lives in the area. So he coached him on how to take all the back roads. So I didn't know this was all going on. So again, we tend to rely on our personal mind, and we forget that we have this deeper wisdom or our common sense.